Hi, welcome to Hardy Classics. And what's been happening? Well, I'll tell you what's been happening. Mark, my mechanic, has been on the radio to Radio Tees because a bit ago he did an article about his model aeroplane flying, of which he is an avid club member for Radio Tees. And Radio Tees have appealed to people for anybody with any knowledge of Doctor Who. So anybody with any Doctor Who memorabilia or any stories about Doctor Who, well, it just so happens it's Doctor Who's 60th anniversary, and it just so happens that I happen to have a Doctor Who Tardis. So Mark's emailed them, and it just so happens that they want to do a radio interview with me tomorrow. So let's see what happens. So I'm sitting here, eagerly awaiting the phone to ring, because Gary Phillipson from BBC Radio Tees is supposed to be ringing us this morning. Oop, no number. I'm guessing it's him. Hello. Yes, it is Andrew Hardy. Yes, I do have a Tardis. Yeah.
Dad, come on, I think that's it.
Well, shut up. I can't even listen to it. Move away. Come on.
And this is why it's just, I reinforce, just tell us your story. If there's something where you are, and we should be telling everyone else, let us know. Because coming up, we're going to find out about a piece of television history that lives in Coxey, thanks to a private car owner. He's called Andrew Hardy.
Probably had it about 2 years now, and everybody who comes in the little showroom comments on it straight away. John Pertwee looks like Ronnie Wood hanging out the front of it, like.
It's a class story. I love our part of the world, and I know I keep banging on about it, you know, but it's just mint. The things that happen here are nobody's business. It's just so much is happening in Teesside, County Durham in North Yorkshire. And I feel like an archaeologist. I just have to dig it out and let you tell the story. And this, I think this is probably one of the finest things that we've ever found. Now, it's a piece of television history, and I mean television history, and it lives in Coxey in County Durham. And it's owned by Andrew Hardy. Now, Andrew has a private car museum. He's a classic car dealer, and he's owned this piece of historic memorabilia for a while. I spoke to him this morning to find out what it is. Wait to hear this, you'll love it.
I've got a Doctor Who TARDIS and a mannequin of John Pertwee.
How and why? How did this come about?
How and why? Well, I'm a classic car dealer and automobile collector, and I've got a small showroom in Durham, and I just thought, why not buy a TARDIS? And just like going back in time with the cars, the same as the TARDIS sort of thing. How
did this come up? Where did you find it? Because I can't imagine there'd be many TARDIS around.
Yeah, well, obviously with us selling the cars, I search various auctions and stuff like that. So I saw it come up on an auction site, and it was a museum in Birmingham, a very famous museum called the Pertwee Collection, and he'd actually bought the TARDIS in a BBC Children in Need appeal.
Is it one of the original TARDIS that were used in the TV programme?
It's one of the original ones, yeah.
Wow!
I know.
Did you know this when you purchased? Did you think it was just like
yeah.
Right.
No, I knew before. I knew because I knew how much it cost. I knew it was going to be a real one, and I didn't realise how heavy they were either. I'll tell you.
So, did you have to go down to Birmingham to the Pertwee Motor Museum?
Well, I sent my son. I've got more sense than that.
So, how long have you had it?
Probably had it about 2 years now.
Right.
And everybody who comes in the little showroom comments on it straight away. John Pertwee looks like Ronnie Wood hanging out the front of it, like.
Which is quite ironic with them just having a new a Rolling Stones album out, because he could have come and visited. Tell me, what sort of reaction do people give to it when they come into the showroom to have a look?
Well, they don't really notice it at first. It's John Pertwee they get the shock with, because he's hanging out the front of it.
Is there any other bits and bobs of stuff that came with it that give it the provenance?
Yeah, there's obviously a couple of plaques, and there's an original bill from the BBC thanking them, for the donation when they bought it. I think at the time it was about £3,000 or £3,500 at the time, and that was in 1980s.
Wow, wowzer! And do you care to estimate a value on it now, Andrew?
Oh, mate, I don't know. I know what I paid for it, but I think to be fair, an original Tardis has got to be over 10,000 quid on it.
Well, you would have, because 60 years coming up, and there's the new series of Doctor Who on the way, and for you to have something as amazing as that, you are genuinely a custodian of Whoverian items here, mate.
Yeah, like I say, I mean, I loved it. Doctor Who as a kid, you know what I mean? I loved it. And when it came up for sale, I thought, I've got cars in my showroom from as early as 1901. Right. So I've got some really, really old cars. And I just thought, go back in time with the cars, go back in time with the TARDIS. So that's why I bought it, to be fair.
Do you get Doctor Who fans coming to see it? Or do you not advertise the fact that you've got it? It's only
I don't advertise the fact, to be fair. But, like, when I have little car shows on, I have my own little car shows, car clubs and schools and colleges sometimes come round for like a little open day. They get the picture took outside with John Pertwee and stuff, so it's just a bit of daft fun, really.
Now, please tell me, Andrew, you're going to get yourself a Cyberman or a Dalek next?
Dalek. I'm on the lookout for a Dalek. I'm definitely on the lookout for a Dalek.
Brilliant. I'm not telling the businessman how to suck eggs here, but you can hire this out, because there's a lot of these Doctor Who conventions going, mate.
Yeah, I know. Well, we do hire cars out as well to film crews and stuff, so I've never really thought about it, and to be honest, it's bloody heavy, to be fair. Honestly. It took about 8 of us to lift it. It's on wheels as well, but it's really heavy.
What's it made of?
Really heavy. Wood.
Just wood? But heavy wood?
Solid wood. Yeah, solid wood, yeah.
And please tell me, I don't know how old you are, Andrew, but I'm 53, but I'd be tempted to go in and pretend I was travelling back in time in the old phone box.
I'm 57, and every morning I wake up, I wish I was travelling back in time, I tell you.
Brilliant stuff. Can people come and see it? Can people come and see what you've got at the showroom? Do you mind telling us where the showroom is?
Well, it's in Coxer in County Durham.
Right.
I don't mind people coming for a look around, but it's got to be by an appointment,
Yeah.
Because it's just a small showroom. It only has about 15 cars in.
I think this, Andrew, I see this as a great quiz question. What has Coxer got in common with Doctor Who?
Andrew Hardy.
Andrew Hardy, everybody. And there is the answer, my mate. Look, thank you very much for... I've got to ask, would you consider selling it?
No.
Is it yours for good now? It's a family heirloom?
Yeah, well, it's mine till I pop my clogs, and then my son will probably sell it, yeah.
That's kids for you, Andrew. That's kids for you, man. In a place, in time, somewhere near Boburn, Coxer. Can you imagine the Time Lord coming out near the Kick and Cuddy? Isn't that amazing? One of the original TARDIS from the... what is the plural of TARDIS? Is it Tardis? Tardus? Well, anyway, one of the original TARDIS from the Doctor Who dynasty, going back in time from the BBC, lives in Coxer. Who knew? I'd love to know. If you have any unusual movie memorabilia, TV memorabilia in your house, let us know. Can you beat that? Andrew Hardy was a classic car company and a private car museum. He has one of the original TARDIS.
So how do you find that, Dad?
Yeah, it was all right. It was actually all right. They've also said there that they're going to... Is it all right if they send somebody out to film the museum and obviously the TARDIS for the social media page? So... better go and change my shirt. Yeah. Mark, who works for us, said, the BBC are doing a thing on Doctor Who, 60 years of Doctor Who even. And he contacted his friend at a radio station and said, we have a TARDIS. So this morning, they rang us up, the radio station, and said, have you got a TARDIS? Yes. And, where did he get it from? What's the story with it? And subsequently, I told them all about it, why I wanted it and what the relevance was in my business with it, because I collect memorabilia. I know it's not memorabilia, but it's along the same collecting lines, and I thought, well, I put it in my showroom as a statement piece, and it's sort of everything in this showroom is back to the future. So that's where we are with that. Then I got a phone call saying, can we come and do a video of your car showroom and your Tardis and bits and bobs. So that's what I'm waiting for now. Some guys to come out and make a video. So that's where we are. Right, well, I'll show you what they've come to see. And they haven't come to see Mark, although they might go, I don't know. See, and they haven't come to see these either. And they haven't come to see that 1920s fabric bodied Austin 7, which is made of there. Oh, the TR2. Oh, my George Richards. No. They've come to see the Tardis and John Pertwee. Or Ronnie Wood, as I say he looks like. And there you have it. Let's see what happens. And there they are. BBC Tees. Well, there she is, filming me. Oh, God. I'm Andrew Hardy from Andrew Hardy Classics.
Okay, tell me about this Tardis then.
This Tardis I bought a couple of years ago from a famous museum in Birmingham. And he was another collector like myself, another car dealer collector. And he actually bought it from a Children in Need TV show. Oh, Facebook notification. A piece of Doctor Who history lives in a Coxer car garage. I just laughed at myself because I just think it's funny. You know, I think it's like it's just a funny thing, isn't it? I mean, who's got one? You know, I just need a Dalek to go with it. Hi, I'm Andrew Hardy. This Tardis I bought a couple of years ago. I thought it was pretty apt because when you buy a classic car, you're sort of stepping back in time. So, what better thing to step back in time than a Tardis? As a child, I watched Doctor Who, but I'm not really a sci-fi fan. But I just thought, you know, what better thing to have in the garage? That's John Pertwee, but I think he looks like Ronnie Wood off the Rolling Stones, you know, on a bad day, in a bad light. But he's really realistic, isn't he? His eyes and everything, he's, like I say, he's a scary dude in the dark. I enjoyed that little video. There's also one on BBC Sounds called the Coxer Tardis. I'll stick that on now. Well, this Tardis I bought a couple of years ago from a famous museum in Birmingham, and he was another collector like myself, another car dealer collector, and he actually bought it from a Children in Need TV show.
What made you decide to purchase a Tardis?
Well, I thought it was pretty apt because when you buy a classic car, you're sort of stepping back in time. So, what better thing to step back in time than a Tardis?
And when it arrived,
well, we picked it up.
what did you think?
Well, I thought it was heavy because it took about 8 people to get it out the van, and I didn't realise it was as big because I only saw it in an auction catalogue, and then when it was in the flesh, it was obviously bigger than I thought.
And how much of a fan of Doctor Who are you?
As a child, I watched Doctor Who, but I'm not really a sci-fi fan. But I just thought, what better thing to have in the garage?
And what do your customers think of it?
Oh, they love it. Look, well, I have little car shows and groups of people come round. Most people are frightened by him when they walk in because he's pretty scary, isn't he? And they get the picture took with him and stuff like that.
Do you think little Andrew would have believed that you would have a Tardis as an adult?
No, little Andrew wouldn't. Little Andrew wouldn't have thought I'd have had all these cars either, so yeah, definitely not.
And you know, when you walk into this showroom, when you see it, what do you think?
I just laughed at myself because I just think it's funny. You know, I think it's like it's just a funny thing, isn't it? I mean, who's got one? You know, I just need a Dalek to go with it.
Absolutely. And are you happy just to explain who that is, poking out of the Tardis?
Well, that's John Pertwee, but I think he looks like Ronnie Wood off the Rolling Stones, you know, on a bad day, in a bad light. But he's really realistic, isn't he? His eyes and everything, he's, like I say, he's a scary dude in the dark.
Do people come up just to see the Tardis?
No, people don't come up to just see the Tardis. They come up obviously for the cars, but they can get distracted as soon as they see the Tardis. Well, it's Friday night. I'm in the bar. I'm not in the Tardis, so I'm not going back to the past. With a few more of these, I might be going into the future. If you want to see some more stuff on that Doctor Who Tardis, look here.
The man who thought, why not buy a Tardis? It has travelled through time and space, but now an original TARDIS used in Doctor Who is stationed in one man's home. Classic car dealer Andrew Hardy, 57 from Coxo in County Durham, picked up the giant prop from a museum auction in March 2022. He said he regularly searches auction sites for cars and noticed a lot from the Patrick collection in Birmingham. I loved Doctor Who as a kid. When it came up for sale, I thought, you know, I've got cars in my showroom from as early as 1901, so I thought, go back in time with the cars, go back in time with the TARDIS, he said. Mr. Hardy has a letter detailing the sale of the TARDIS to the Patrick collection. The TARDIS was originally auctioned off in a BBC Children in Need appeal in December 1986 for £3,100. Mr. Hardy does not know when it was used, but the date means it could have been seen alongside the first 5 Doctors: William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, Tom Baker and Peter Davidson. The TARDIS stands in his classic car showroom. He paid £4,590 for the purchase, which stands proudly in his classic car showroom, complete with a John Pertwee mannequin. Mr. Hardy is now on the lookout for a Dalek to add to his collection. Doctor Who celebrated its 60th anniversary this year. Mr. Hardy's John Pertwee mannequin in the TARDIS.
Well, that's the end of another funny week, I tell you. Who would have thought BBC ringing up about a TARDIS? Anyway, who's daft enough to buy a TARDIS? Only me. Yeah, so that's it for the week. If you like the video, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that young person stuff that people follow people on. And I'll keep making these videos because I love it. Bye bye now.